The man had just returned home from work. He instinctively held out his coat for her to take, but this time it dropped straight to the floor. He remembered how she used to rush over with a smile, gently taking his coat, and always placing his slippers by his feet. But now that warm presence, that gentle care, was gone. A wave of emptiness rose in his chest. To shake off the suffocating sadness, he dragged himself into the bedroom, and collapsed onto the bed. He hoped sleep would ease his pain, but he couldn't fall asleep. Her face kept appearing in his mind. Only now did he finally realize the woman who loved him so deeply had been pushed away by his own hands. Just 10 days earlier, they had been celebrating their wedding anniversary, when suddenly his first love showed up, right there in front of everyone. She demanded the woman give the man back to her. To avoid embarrassment, his wife hurried to calm her down, but the first love threatened to take her own life. By grabbing a fruit knife and holding it to her wrist, the man panicked, and without hesitation cancelled the entire celebration. His wife stood there stunned, asking what he meant by that. Before he could answer, his first love shoved her to the ground. His mother and sister panicked. They knew she was pregnant. They tried to rush over to help, but the first love stopped them. Then she deliberately slashed her own wrist, and the man, overcome with panic, picked her up and rushed out of the venue. Left behind in shock, his wife realized just how deeply she had lost. At the hospital, she was told she had lost the baby, and it would be hard to conceive again. His mother held her hand in pain, knowing her son had caused this. No matter what anyone did, nothing could erase the damage he had done. The next day, she was ready to be discharged, but as soon as she stepped out of the ward, she saw him feeding oranges to his first love. When the first love saw her, she smugly grabbed his hand. She couldn't understand how 5 years of love and devotion meant so little to him. Back home, she quietly wrote the divorce papers, and waited for him to come back. She thought maybe he'd show some guilt about losing the child, or offer a word of comfort. But instead, he coldly replied, even if the child had been born, he still wouldn't have loved it. With those words, the last piece of her heart shattered. She handed him the papers. He didn't even flinch, thinking she was just trying to get his attention. Without hesitation, he signed his name. He was sure she couldn't survive without him, but what he didn't know was that this time, she would never look back. The next morning, she packed her things, and stood silently in the home they'd shared for 5 years. She had given everything, hoping her love could melt his indifference, but it had all been one-sided. Once she saw that clearly, she turned and left without a word. That evening, he came home and instinctively held out his coat again, but no one was there to take it. The silence crushed him. Still, he refused to face reality. Without her, he couldn't sleep. He remembered how she used to bring him coffee in the rain, just to brighten his long workdays. Now she was gone, and the loneliness hit harder than ever. Only then did he truly understand. He couldn't live without her. But just then, his phone rang. It was his mother calling.